Germany, the economic powerhouse of Europe, has long been known for its stability and predictability. Its robust economy, efficient infrastructure, and strong political institutions have made it a model of consistency in a world often marked by volatility. This image of unwavering consistency has been challenged in recent times. The once predictable political climate has seen a surge of unpredictability, with citizens voicing their concerns more vocally than ever before. The country's political landscape shifted dramatically after the 2021 federal election, leading to an unprecedented coalition government. This election marked a significant turning point, as traditional power dynamics were upended. This coalition, nicknamed the Traffic Light Coalition due to the colors of the parties involved, the Social Democratic Party, SPD red, the Free Democratic Party, FDP yellow, and the Greens, represents a diverse spectrum of political ideologies. Each party brought its own unique perspective and priorities to the table, creating a complex and multifaceted government. The SPD, led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz, campaigned on a platform of social justice and economic equality. They aim to address the growing income disparity and ensure that economic growth benefits all segments of society. The FDP, with its focus on individual liberty and free markets, stood in stark contrast. They advocated for reduced government intervention in the economy, promoting entrepreneurship and innovation as the keys to prosperity. The Greens, as their name suggests, prioritized environmental protection and climate action. They pushed for ambitious policies to combat climate change, emphasizing the need for sustainable development and renewable energy sources. These parties, with their contrasting views, formed an unlikely alliance. Their collaboration was seen as a bold experiment in bridging ideological divides for the greater good of the nation. Their common goal, to move Germany forward after Angela Merkel's long reign. Merkel's departure marked the end of an era, and the new coalition sought to usher in a new chapter of progress and innovation. This fragile alliance, however, has been fraught with challenges from its inception. The inherent differences in their platforms often led to intense debates and disagreements. The parties have often struggled to reconcile their differing viewpoints on key issues. Balancing the need for economic growth with environmental sustainability, for instance, proved to be a significant hurdle. These issues range from economic policies to climate change mitigation strategies. Each party had its own vision for the future, and finding common ground was a continuous challenge. Despite the inherent difficulties, the coalition managed to maintain a semblance of unity. They worked tirelessly to present a united front, even as internal conflicts simmered beneath the surface. That is, until a recent event sent shockwaves through German politics. The stability of the coalition was put to the test in an unprecedented manner. Chancellor Scholz made the controversial decision to dismiss a key minister, throwing the government into turmoil. This unexpected move raised questions about the future of the coalition and its ability to govern effectively amidst growing tensions. At the heart of this political drama was a figure who had become increasingly controversial: Defense Minister Christine Lambrecht. A member of the SPD, Lambrecht had held the crucial defense portfolio since the coalition's formation. Her tenure, however, was marked by a series of gaffes and controversies. These missteps drew criticism from both the opposition and, more worryingly, from within the coalition itself. Lambrecht's critics often pointed to her perceived lack of experience in defense matters. They questioned her ability to lead the German military, especially in a time of heightened global uncertainty. Adding fuel to the fire were a series of public relations blunders that raised eyebrows and sparked ridicule. One such incident involved Lambrecht posting a New Year's Eve video message that was widely deemed tone-deaf and inappropriate. This further eroded public confidence in her leadership. As criticism mounted, tensions within the coalition, particularly between the SPD and the FDP, began to escalate. The FDP, known for its hawkish stance on defense, had long harbored reservations about Lambrecht's performance. The party's leadership had previously voiced concerns about her handling of the defense ministry. They argued that she was not doing enough to strengthen Germany's military capabilities, especially in light of the evolving security situation in Europe. The dismissal of Lambrecht was not a sudden, isolated event. It was the culmination of simmering tensions within the coalition, particularly between the SPD and the FDP. These tensions had been brewing for months, if not years, as the two parties struggled to find common ground on a variety of critical issues. While united in their opposition to Russia's actions in Ukraine, the two parties found themselves increasingly at odds over a range of policy issues. This unity against a common external threat masked deeper, more complex internal divisions that were becoming harder to ignore. These disagreements, often stemming from their contrasting ideological positions, gradually eroded the coalition's unity and stability. The ideological chasm between the SPD's social democratic values and the FDP's liberal economic policies became more pronounced with each passing day. One of the most contentious issues was Germany's defense spending. This topic had long been a point of friction, but recent global events had brought it to the forefront of political debate. The FDP, a staunch advocate for a strong military, had been pushing for Germany to meet the NATO target of spending 2% of its GDP on defense. They argued that in an increasingly unstable world, a robust military was essential for national security. This stance was met with resistance from the SPD, which favored a more cautious approach to military spending. The SPD leaders were concerned that ramping up defense budgets would divert much-needed funds from other critical areas. The SPD argued that such a significant increase in defense expenditure would come at the expense of social programs. They believed that investing in social welfare was equally, if not more, important for the long-term stability and prosperity of the nation. This ignited a debate about the prioritization of national security versus social welfare. The question of how to balance these competing priorities became a central issue within the coalition. Another point of contention was the issue of nuclear energy. This debate was not new, but it had gained renewed urgency in the context of Germany's energy transition and the geopolitical landscape. The FDP, generally supportive of nuclear power, argued for extending the lifespan of Germany's remaining nuclear power plants. They saw this as a pragmatic solution to ensure energy security and reduce dependence on Russian gas. Especially in light of recent geopolitical tensions, they saw this as a way to ensure energy security and reduce dependence on Russian gas. The FDP's position was that nuclear energy could serve as a bridge while renewable energy infrastructure was being developed. The Greens, on the other hand, remained firmly opposed to nuclear power, citing concerns about safety and waste disposal. They argued that the risks associated with nuclear energy far outweighed its benefits. They advocated for a rapid transition to renewable energy sources, a stance shared by the SPD. Both parties believed that investing in renewable energy was the only sustainable path forward for Germany. This fundamental disagreement over energy policy further strained relations within the coalition. The inability to reconcile these differences created an atmosphere of distrust and frustration, making it increasingly difficult for the coalition to function effectively. As these policy clashes continued to escalate, the future of the coalition became more uncertain, with each party questioning the viability of their partnership. The tensions that had been simmering beneath the surface finally erupted in January 2024, when Chancellor Scholz made the momentous decision to dismiss Defense Minister Lambrecht. This decision was not just a simple administrative move. It was a significant political maneuver that would have far-reaching consequences. This decision, announced abruptly, sent shockwaves through German politics and plunged the coalition into crisis. The suddenness of the announcement left many politicians and analysts scrambling to understand the underlying reasons and potential fallout. Scholz, in a brief statement, cited the need for a fresh start in the defense ministry. He emphasized the importance of strong and decisive leadership in times of international uncertainty, particularly with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. However, the timing and manner of the dismissal suggested that it was more than just a routine cabinet reshuffle. Political analysts speculated that internal party dynamics and external pressures played a significant role in the decision. Lambrecht's departure, while not entirely unexpected, came at a critical juncture. Her tenure had been marked by controversies and criticisms, but her removal at this particular moment raised eyebrows. Germany was grappling with the ongoing war in Ukraine and its implications for European security. The defense ministry was at the forefront of these challenges, making the leadership change even more significant. The dismissal of a key minister at such a sensitive time raised questions about the coalition's stability and its ability to provide steady leadership. The move was seen by some as a gamble that could either strengthen the government's resolve or expose its vulnerabilities. Opposition parties were quick to seize on the opportunity, accusing the government of disarray and incompetence. They argued that the sudden dismissal was a sign of deeper issues within the coalition. The FDP, while critical of Lambrecht's performance, was reportedly caught off guard by the timing of her dismissal. The party had been vocal about the need for change, but had not anticipated such a swift action. The party's leadership had expected to be consulted on the decision, given the sensitivity of the defense portfolio. The lack of communication from Scholz's office was seen as a breach of protocol. The lack of prior consultation fueled suspicions within the FDP that Scholz had acted unilaterally to appease growing discontent within his own party, the SPD. This move was interpreted as an attempt to consolidate his position and address internal criticisms. This perceived breach of trust further strained relations between the coalition partners. The incident highlighted the fragile nature of the coalition and the challenges it faced in maintaining unity amidst growing political pressures. Public reaction was swift and divided. Some saw the dismissal as a necessary step to ensure effective leadership, while others viewed it as a sign of instability and poor governance. The streets of Berlin and other major cities saw protests and demonstrations, reflecting the polarized opinions of the populace. Internationally, the news was met with a mix of concern and curiosity. Allies and adversaries alike watched closely, trying to gauge the implications of this political shakeup on Germany's foreign policy and its role in global affairs. Chancellor Scholz now faced the daunting task of not only finding a suitable replacement for Lambrecht, but also reassuring both domestic and international audiences of his government's stability and commitment to its responsibilities. The coming weeks would be crucial in determining the future trajectory of his administration and the coalition's ability to navigate these turbulent times.